They don't want you to know this. But there's a psychological technique so powerful that therapists were quietly warned never to share it with introverts. Not because it's harmful, but because once an introvert learns it, they become almost impossible to manipulate, exhaust, or silence. If you've ever felt trapped inside your own mind, if you carry thoughts too heavy to say out loud, this is for you. This is not therapy. It's not journaling. It's something deeper. A private mental system used by some of the most self-aware, high-functioning minds in the world. And once you understand it, your inner world will never feel like a prison again. You've been carrying something your entire life, something no one taught you how to put down. It's the weight of every thought you swallowed, every feeling you smiled through, every truth you kept locked away because the world didn't feel safe enough to hear it. Maybe you've sat across from someone and nodded along, while inside you were screaming. Maybe you've ended a conversation and felt more alone than before it started, and in those quiet moments, a voice inside whispers, "No one would understand anyway." That's not a weakness. That's what happens when a deep mind has nowhere to go. You were never taught what to do with everything happening inside you, and that silence, it doesn't disappear. It builds. It compresses, until the very mind that should be your greatest asset starts to feel like your heaviest burden. But that's about to change. Let's be honest about something first. The world was never designed for the way you think. It rewards those who speak fast, react instantly, and perform confidently even when they feel nothing inside. Introverts were handed a different kind of mind, one that processes slowly, deeply, and completely. But no one gave you the instruction manual. So instead of learning how to use your inner world, you were taught to suppress it, to shrink, to adjust, to fit. You watched others speak their minds freely and wondered why that felt so dangerous to you. You stored opinions no one asked for, emotions no one made space for, observations so precise they would have changed the room, but you kept them to yourself. That's not a character flaw. That's a mind that was never shown its own power. And the longer that power stays locked inside, the heavier everything becomes. The technique you're about to learn is not new. It has no trending hashtag. No viral moment. It was quietly used by writers, philosophers, and psychologists who understood one truth the modern world forgot, that the unexpressed mind slowly turns against itself. It's called the black file. And for introverts, it is not just a tool. It is a release valve for everything you were never allowed to say. Here is how it works. You create a private space, a notebook, a locked document, a hidden folder. You call it whatever you want. But its purpose is singular and sacred. This is where the unfiltered version of you lives. Not the version that shows up to work. Not the version that laughs at the right moments. Not the version that says, "I'm fine," when everything inside is on fire. This is where you write the truth. The anger you swallowed in that meeting. The grief you never gave a name to. The dream you buried because someone made you feel too small to have it. You write it all, without editing, without judgment, without wondering how it sounds, because no one will ever read this, not even you, for the first 30 days. That last part is important. Most people think the value is in reviewing what they write. It's not. The power of the black file is in the release itself. When you externalize a thought, when you pull it out of your mind and place it somewhere, your brain stops treating it as a threat. It stops circling it, replaying it, protecting it. The thought loses its grip, and what replaces it? Clarity, space, quiet. The kind of quiet that isn't empty. It's clean. Research on expressive writing has shown this for decades. When people write about suppressed emotions and experiences, stress hormones drop, mental clarity improves, and emotional patterns that were invisible suddenly become visible for the first time. But here's what the research doesn't fully capture. For introverts specifically, this technique does something extra. It gives your inner world a witness, not a judge, not an audience, just a witness. And for a mind that has spent years feeling unseen and unheard, that changes everything. You might be thinking, isn't this just journaling? No, and the difference matters. Journaling often becomes a performance. You write with the part of your brain still watching how you sound, still curating, still editing, still editing. The black file has one rule: no performance allowed. You don't write for future you to read. You don't write for insight or growth. You write to empty. Think of your mind like a glass of water that's been filling for years. Every unspoken thought, every buried emotion, every moment you chose silence over truth. The glass is overflowing. The black file is what lets you pour it out. And once you do, you'll have room for something new. Introverts are deep processors by nature. Your mind does not skim the surface of an experience. It dives. It dissects. It revisits. That depth is your gift. But without an outlet, that same depth becomes a loop. You replay conversations, rethink decisions, reanalyze moments that should have passed months ago. That's not a mental flaw. That's a powerful mind with nowhere to direct its energy. The black file gives that energy somewhere to go. Instead of cycling inward and creating anxiety, it flows outward and creates understanding. Slowly, without forcing it, you begin to see patterns in what you write. You notice what keeps coming back, what you've been afraid to admit, what you've been waiting for someone to ask. And that self-knowledge, it becomes the foundation of everything. Your decisions get sharper. Your boundaries become clearer. Your relationships feel less exhausting because you finally know what you actually think, separate from what you were told to think. In a world built for extroverts, introverts are constantly translating themselves, softening their edges, speeding up their pace, pretending the noise doesn't drain them. That translation takes energy, more than most people will ever understand. And when all your energy goes into performing normalcy, there's nothing left for actual growth. The black file lets you stop translating, even for just 10 minutes a day. You get to exist exactly as you are, unfiltered, unedited, unjudged. And in that space, something remarkable happens. You start to remember who you were before the world taught you to shrink. So here is your challenge. For the next 30 days, open a file, a page, a private note, name it anything. And every single day, write one thing you have never said out loud. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be true. Don't read it back. Don't analyze it. Just write it and close it. Do this for 30 days and watch what happens to the noise inside your head. Watch how much lighter your thoughts become. Watch how much more clearly you start to see yourself and everyone around you. Because a person who truly knows themselves is a person who cannot be easily lost, cannot be manipulated into becoming someone they're not, cannot be silenced by a world that never understood them. You were never too sensitive, never too quiet, never too much. You were just missing the one tool that was always meant for a mind like yours. Now you have it. The black file is open. What will you finally say?